The freezer was empty. 6 months of pumped breast milk. Gone. Every carefully labeled bag, dated and measured, 500 ounces of liquid gold I'd painstakingly saved, vanished like it had never existed. I stood there at 3 a.m., baby Eva crying in my arms, staring at the spot where my backup supply should have been. The freezer hummed mockingly, full of my parents' TV dinners and my sister's diet ice cream. But not a single bag of the milk I'd pumped through mastitis, through exhaustion, through bleeding nipples and cluster feeding. No, no, no. I opened the garage freezer. Empty. The mini fridge in my room. Nothing. What's wrong? My husband Marcus appeared in the doorway, hair sticking up, still half asleep from his night shift at the hospital. The milk. All my frozen milk. It's gone. He was instantly awake. What do you mean gone? I mean gone. Every bag. 6 months of pumping. Eva's cries escalated. She was hungry, and my body, stressed and shocked, wasn't responding. I tried to latch her, but she pulled away screaming. I needed that frozen milk. Your parents, Marcus started. They wouldn't. But even as I said it, I knew. Of course they would. I stormed upstairs to their part of the house. We lived in their basement temporarily, while saving for our own place. Mom was in the kitchen, making her morning smoothie like nothing was wrong. Where's my breast milk? She didn't even look up. Oh, that. I sold it. You sold it? The words didn't make sense. You sold my breast milk? Meredith needed money for her Botox appointment. That stuff goes for quite a bit online, you know. $60 an ounce to the right buyer. You sold my baby's food. For Botox. Formula is fine, she said, blending her kale like we were discussing the weather. You're too precious about this whole breastfeeding thing. Meredith, and you were formula fed and you turned out fine. I turned out fine. I'm living in your basement because you convinced us to save money. I trusted you with my baby's food. Dad wandered in, newspaper in hand. What's all the noise? She sold Eva's milk for Meredith's Botox. He shrugged. That freezer space costs electricity. At least now it's being used efficiently. Efficiently? I was screaming now. Eva was wailing. That was 6 months of work. 6 months of waking up every 3 hours to pump. 6 months of drama. Mom cut me off. It's just milk. The store sells it for $20 a can. That's not the same and you know it. Actually, Meredith sauntered in, lips already freshly plumped from yesterday's appointment. You should thank me. That milk was taking up space we needed. And look, she posed. Don't I look amazing? I stared at my sister. 28 years old, living at home, working part-time at a makeup counter, spending every cent on her appearance. And now, apparently, spending my baby's food on her face. That milk wasn't yours to sell, Marcus said quietly from behind me. He had Eva now, bouncing her gently. That's theft. Theft. Mom laughed. From family? Don't be ridiculous. We share in this house. We pay rent, he reminded her. We buy our own food. We pay for that freezer space you're so worried about. Barely, Dad muttered. If you were real providers, your wife wouldn't need to hoard milk like a doomsday prepper. I wasn't hoarding. I was building a supply for when I go back to work. Which is next week. What am I supposed to send to daycare now? Formula, Mom said slowly like I was stupid. For moolah, millions of babies drink it. Eva doesn't. She won't take it. We've tried 6 different brands. She's exclusively breastfed. Then try harder, Meredith suggested. Honestly, Tessa, you make everything so difficult. It's just milk. Who did you sell it to? I demanded. I'll buy it back. Mom waved her hand dismissively. Some woman online. Said she needed it for her premature twins. Paid cash, picked it up yesterday. What woman? What's her name? I don't know. Susan something. From that mom group on Facebook. I pulled out my phone, scrolling frantically through the local mom groups. Which group? What did she look like? Does it matter? It's gone. Move on. But I couldn't move on. That milk represented hours of my life. Nights spent attached to a pump while Eva slept. Days at work, hiding in a supply closet to pump. The pain of building supply through multiple clogged ducts. The antibiotics I'd taken for mastitis, carefully timing them so I could still save the milk. Gone. For Botox. Show me the messages, I said. Show me who bought it. I deleted them, Mom said. No point keeping them after the sale. But she'd made a mistake. She'd taught me, growing up, to never trust her. So I knew her Facebook password. I knew she never really deleted anything, just archived it. Fine, I said. Formula it is. I took Eva back from Marcus and headed downstairs. But I wasn't giving up. I was just getting started. While Marcus comfort nursed Eva with the little milk I could produce, I logged into Mom's Facebook on my laptop. Found the archived messages immediately. Susan Chun. Profile picture showed her with twins in the NICU. My heart clenched. Those babies needed that milk. But something felt off. I clicked on her profile. Registered nurse at St. Mary's Hospital, where Marcus worked. Babe, I called. Do you know a Susan Chun at the hospital? NICU nurse? Yeah, why? She's who bought my milk. He came over, looked at the profile. That's weird. Her twins are like 3 years old now. Why would she need breast milk? We kept digging. Susan's posts were all about her healthy toddlers. No mention of needing milk. But there was one interesting detail. Her husband was tagged in several posts. Attorney Michael Chun specializes in family law and custody disputes. My blood ran cold. Marcus, what if this wasn't about feeding babies? What do you mean? What if they're building a case? My mom's been dropping hints about us being unfit parents. About how we can't afford our own place. How I'm too obsessed with breastfeeding. What if they're trying to take Eva? His face went white. That's why they sold the milk. To make you look unstable when you can't feed her. And to have evidence that we can't provide for her. Look at this message from Mom to Susan. She hoards it obsessively. Fills up all her freezer space. We're concerned about her mental state. They're setting us up. We sat in stunned silence. Eva finally latched and calm. My parents were trying to take our baby. And they'd sold her food supply to do it. We need a lawyer, Marcus said. Now. With what money? We've been saving every penny for a house. Then we use it. This is more important than a house. I kept scrolling through the messages. Found the real smoking gun. Mom, she's an unfit mother. Works full-time but insists on breastfeeding. Barely home. We basically raised the baby. Susan, this is helpful. My husband will want documentation. Photos of the hoarding behavior would be good. Mom, I'll take some before I clear it out. She won't even notice for days. Too busy working. They'd photograph my milk stash to make me look crazy. Then sold it to create a crisis. I'm calling in sick, Marcus said. We're seeing a lawyer today. But, no buts. They sold 500 ounces at $60 each. That's $30,000 they made off your body. Off our baby's food. We're not letting this slide. He was right. This wasn't just about milk anymore. We met with a lawyer that afternoon, Eva in tow. Patricia Gonzalez specialized in family law and, coincidentally, had handled cases against Michael Chun before. He's dirty, she said bluntly. Takes questionable cases for big payoffs. Your parents hiring him through his wife is exactly his style. But here's the good news, they're idiots. How so? They documented everything. Selling bodily fluids across state lines without proper screening? That's a federal crime. Conspiracy to file a false custody claim? Also illegal. And this. She held up the printed messages. This is evidence of conspiracy to commit fraud. So we can stop them. We can destroy them. But first, we need to secure your living situation. You can't win a custody battle from their basement. We used our house savings to put a deposit on an apartment that day. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. Then Patricia got to work. The cease and desist letter arrived at my parents' house 3 days later. I was upstairs when Mom opened it, heard her shriek from the basement. Tessa, what did you do? I climbed the stairs slowly, Eva in her carrier. What's wrong? This letter. You're suing us? Your own parents. You sold my baby's food to help someone build a custody case against me. What did you expect? We were trying to help. Dad protested. You're clearly overwhelmed. Working too much, obsessing over milk. Providing for my child. That's what I was doing. By hoarding body fluids? Meredith wrinkled her newly enhanced lips. That's not normal, Tessa. Neither is stealing $30,000 worth of breast milk for cosmetic procedures. $30,000, Mom laughed. Don't be ridiculous. I got $3,000. Patricia had warned me about this. You sold it for $6 an ounce. Market rate for screened, healthy milk is $1 to $4. But Susan Chun paid $60. Why do you think that is? They stared at me blankly. Because she wasn't buying it for babies. She was buying evidence. And you sold it to her cheap. The realization dawned on Mom's face. But, she said, she played you. Just like you tried to play me. We're your parents. Dad stood up, trying to use his height to intimidate. You drop this lawsuit right now. No. Then get out of our house. Already done. We moved out yesterday while you were at Meredith's Botox follow-up. They hadn't even noticed. Too wrapped up in their scheme to realize we'd packed and left. You can't survive without us, Mom said desperately. Who'll watch Eva when you work? The daycare we enrolled her in. You know, the one I was stockpiling milk for. With what milk? Meredith smirked. Formula baby now. Actually, I smiled. That's the best part. Remember Susan Chin? The nurse who bought my milk? She felt terrible when she learned what was really happening. Turns out, she thought she was helping rehome milk from an oversupplier to NICU babies. Your messages made it sound like I wanted to donate. So she returned it. All of it. Plus an extra 200 ounces from her own stash as an apology. And she's testifying about how you misrepresented the situation. Mom's face went gray. She can't do that. We had a deal. Your deal was fraudulent. Also, her husband dropped you as potential clients. Turns out, he doesn't like being used for fake custody cases. Bad for business. This is all a misunderstanding, Dad tried. We can work this out as a family. We're not family, Marcus said from the doorway. He'd been packing the last of our things. Family doesn't sell a baby's food. Family doesn't plot to steal children. Family doesn't sabotage new parents for money. $3,000, I added. That's what you sold my daughter's security for. That's what our relationship is worth to you. Don't be so dramatic, Mom started. Dramatic? You want to see dramatic? I pulled out my phone. Should I post these screenshots to the mom group? Show everyone how you tried to sell my baby's food to fake a custody case? I bet that would be dramatic. You wouldn't dare. Try me. We left them there, sputtering and threatening. But their threats were empty now. We had evidence. We had witnesses. We had Susan Chun, mortified by her unwitting role, ready to testify. The lawsuit took 6 months. They tried everything, claimed I was hormonal, unstable, vindictive. But the evidence was clear. They'd sold my milk under false pretenses. They'd conspired to file a fraudulent custody claim. They'd stolen from their own grandchild. In the end, they settled. $50,000 plus our legal fees. Enough for a real down payment on a house far away from them. Meredith had to pay back the Botox money. Her lips deflated with her bank account. Mom and Dad had to take out a second mortgage to cover the settlement. Was it worth it? Mom asked at the settlement signing. Destroying your family for milk. You destroyed our family for Botox, I corrected. I just held you accountable. We'll never see Eva again, will we? No, you won't. She's our granddaughter. She was your meal ticket, your pawn, your excuse to control us. But never your granddaughter. Grandmothers don't sell their grandbabies food. We moved across the country. New jobs, new house, new life. Eva thrived on the milk I'd fought to save, then transitioned to solids without ever tasting formula. Not because formula is bad, but because my milk was mine to decide what to do with. Sometimes I pump now, even though Eva's weaned. I donate it to the local NICU, properly screened and processed. Each ounce labeled with love instead of litigation. Because that's what you do with excess milk. You help other babies. You don't sell it for cosmetic procedures. You don't use it to steal children. You share it freely, the way family should share love. The real kind of family. The kind you choose. The kind that would never sell your baby's food for their sister's face. They had no idea what the buyer's husband did for a living. But more importantly, they had no idea what a mother would do to protect her child. Now they know, and they'll never forget.